What you have in your design project is there's uplands. This means that it's not part of the wetland. All these symbols here, L57, 1801, and those numbers correspond to these labels over here. Okay, so it's just a legal description of those, or line description, bearings and distances of the wetland lines. So I'm going to freeze those off. I'm going to freeze off this because you don't need them. Okay, so we can see our wetland. The next thing you see is the bearings and distances along your parcel. You own the entire magenta area, but we can't develop within the wetland area. These lines here are polylines, which are basically our contours. Okay, oops, I'm clicking on the wrong thing. For example, right here. These are polylines that have an elevation to them, and that elevation we will turn into contours. These here are points that we're going to use to include in our survey. I'm going to go ahead and freeze off this because I'm clicking on it too much. Okay, so I've created points. There's points underneath the topo, or underneath the spot grade. So you can see that there's a Kogo point. You can also see there's points over here in our file. I only used a few of the points. It's not the entire point set. Okay. The other thing is you've got labels 75, 74. So those are our contour labels. The other things that you see in here are fence labels. So you can see that's some type of fence. And these are ground shots. Okay, these just aren't points, they're just text for right now. Also be aware of what's in your roadway. So this one says asphalt. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and change the layer, and I'm going to use my wildcard and type in ASP. So that's the asphalt. I'm going to change all of those to a yellow. Okay. So we can see them a little bit easier. The hatch, if we decide to hatch the asphalt, it will actually be a 250. Okay, I haven't decided if we're going to do that yet or not. Okay, so now you can see the yellow points have to do with asphalt. This symbol here means it's a power pole, and there's overhead electric. Okay, you have overhead wires. OHW is overhead wires. These are concrete drives. So these are the utilities that are in your roadway. You also have symbols like this that show you there's a CTV, there's a telephone box. You also have symbols such as these that tell you that they're iron pins. So that's how you identify your project limits, your boundaries. Basically, they're your benchmarks on site. Okay, these numbers here have to do with the lot and block number. So the legal description, as we talked about before, has to do with some type of section, township, and range, and then it's broken down further inside that section into lots and blocks. So if you look at the legal description, it describes it as lot 67, 68, 83, 94, blah, 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 as it goes forth. And 99 is Seminole Land Investment Company. In a Plat Book B, page 27 of the Osceola County Public Records. All right, so that gets you started on where your project is located and what you're allowed to develop. All right, I'm going to stop here right now, and in the next video, we'll talk about our surfaces.